days after the death of Renee Nicole Good in Minneapolis, there was a report found about the Border Patrol, the BDP. They had an internal report, an investigation or an audit on use of force. They found it was a habit of theirs that they would use, a tactic where they would walk around the front of a slowly moving vehicle, specifically, strategically, to create a reason to use force. This report, they said, it was found in the days after. So we knew, right? So all this new information is coming out. And all of it we already knew. The trajectories are not surprising. They had released some of the emergency dispatch transcripts. They had released some of that before. But none of this is surprising. This was murder and everybody knows it. It just seems, really? Hunter Biden, yeah, what about him? What about all that influence he used to have? But nobody is talking about Don Jr.'s new company. His new $250 million government contract that his daddy gave him, like almost directly. He is the boss of the military in the Pentagon. It is for war stuff. Interesting, isn't it? Because if we wouldn't have gone to war, then Don Jr. wouldn't be getting a $250 million contract. Jared Kushner walked away with a cool $2 billion. But what Don Jr. is doing, and what our president is doing, is called war profiteering. Straight up, no sticky areas. He's stealing from the government everything he can because he knows the end is near. But this information about Renee Nicole Good also proves beyond a reasonable doubt, beyond any kind of doubt at all, the president of the United States is a fucking liar. He said in his social media post right after the shooting that Jonathan Ross was barely clinging to life in the hospital. And we see now documented as in evidence that he didn't even go to the hospital. I mean, we saw him just walk away from the scene, satisfied as could be. He didn't call Renee Nicole Good a bitch. He called her wife a bitch because she was the one that was emasculating him. Why don't you go get lunch before? They were fucking with him. And they're allowed to do that. That's illegal. Nobody should have died for that. And it just seems weird to me because the lies, how incredibly straight up dishonest our government is being to us. When we see the evidence, we see something happening in front of our faces, and they're telling us it's not happening. I mean, didn't we just start this whole presidency talking about waste, fraud, and fucking abuse, right? Then what the what? Hundreds of thousands of people have lost their fucking jobs. The dissolution of USAID, it not only has killed more than, I don't know, at last count, it was more than 1 million people have already died because we pulled out our support. And soft power that we just gave away for free. But we start this talking about waste, fraud, and abuse, but now we're spending $2 billion a day for a war of choice because he's in the Epstein files. $2 billion a day. And he's handing out $250 million contracts to his own kid. What a contrast, right? Joe Biden allowed his own son to be indicted and charged on his watch. Do you think in 1 million years Trump would do the same?